Now, almost in real time, you're going to watch me add the UK to this. Look how similar. This is Italy, actually. This is France in red, Italy in purple, Germany in blue, almost identical to France. Those two trend lines are almost parallel. Almost the same equation for France and Germany. This is Spain, which could have jumped from a couple of cases, and then it almost immediately went to match France and Germany. All headed for 1,000, in fact all just over 1,000 now. They're all in the 1,000 club on situation report number 52. There you go. Okay, Britain soon. We've got a few ahead of us actually. We need to close the Channel Tunnel. But I'm adding the UK to that graph. And there's the UK in funny blue colour, which I don't like actually. That's not our equation, that's Germany's equation. Well look, we're not quite as steep as the others. But I mean basically, yeah, we're a bit behind those, but we're not that far behind. So, okay, here we have Italy, red France, green Spain, this blue Germany. Let's put the UK in some other, well, it doesn't really matter. Just leave it as it is for the time being. And that's the UK. Okay, let's put format data series. Let's make, I like the mark option. I don't like those X's and things. I like a nice, I don't know, we're rather circular here in UK, aren't we? Let's have some blobby, Mr. Blobbies. Okay, that's the UK, right? We're not doing quite as awfully as Spain, France and Germany, because we were level with them here and we're a bit behind. So I don't know, these are heading on the same trend as Italy, right? Italy's already starting to slow down just a little bit, but actually you notice that's a little up today. The slope's gone up a little bit today. So Italy's forecast is going to be worse than 67,000, which is what it was, because this trend here is going to move up a bit. Let's add the point to Italy. Okay. I've just thought of a new way, actually. There you go, you see, you've got a point above the line now. That'll drag the line up a little bit, and that'll drag the equation up a bit, and that'll drag the forecast up a little bit for Italy, which I shall do later. But the current forecast for Italy was 67,000, so it's going to be a little worse than that with that jump up today. The percentage rate has jumped up, as you can see, from 10 yesterday back up above 20 as it's been for about the last week. And so we're not going down here, we're going along here. Very interesting to see. Let's see what that does to the actual forecast for Italy. 58.714 and minus 0.071. I bet I should forget that. 58.714. 58.714. Okay, the current forecast for Italy, as I said, is 66,700, right? And now I've forgotten the damn numbers. Oh, damn. Was it 58.714 and minus 0.071? By any chance? Let's go and have a look. And then we can see if that's correct. Oh, yes. Oh, I'm not senile yet then, not quite. Okay, and that will have changed the forecast now. The forecast for Italy is now... Today, the forecast in it for Italy is now 97,000. It keeps going between 50,000 and 120,000. So that's a bad day for Italy. That's pushed the forecast up. It's extremely volatile, the forecast for Italy. One can't really predict it easily. It's dependent upon these daily rates, these daily percentage rates, which are these here, trending down as they were doing, and then they went down to 20, and then they started going up again, and then you got that nice low point there. Now you're back above 20 again, so there's not really much of a downtrend on that graph to give you an end point for Italy. You had a few extreme points at the beginning, but that's when there weren't really many cases. I mean, Italy's really probably truly on an exponential trend still, to be honest, so it may be unforecastable. There could be, therefore, hundreds of thousands of cases in Italy. Now, if you look at the trend for South Korea, it's very, very different. Okay, there's the forecast for South Korea, heading for just over 9,000 cases. That won't have changed today. Because as you can see, there's a very steady fall in the percentage rate, gone well below 20%. It's actually gone well below 10% for South Korea. So let's just add that single point to South Korea. I'm not going to redo the forecast because there's absolutely no point. It's pretty much close to the line. The forecast is, you know, I mean, it only changed from 9,000 to 9,300. It's going to go back to, you know, 9,100 and something for South Korea if I were to enter that onto the forecast. But I mean, that's basically the curve for South Korea. It's almost at the end of the epidemic. If you actually look at the percentage change for South Korea on the sheet, on the spreadsheet here, you'd be able to see, okay, you've got these huge, they're the cases, okay, that's the new cases each day. This is a percentage change, so you had these kind of 100%, and then you had the 26 to 40, and then this lovely slow, well, not slow, quite steady and relentless decline in the percentage change allows you to forecast quite reliably. So, okay, ignore these numbers here. That's where I started from 3736, and the forecast, okay, actual and forecast. And then I adjusted it because I was a little bit low, 6,500 versus 6,700. So I started again from 7134, which was an actual data point. And okay, my forecast is showing, you know, 8,100 and something. We're at 7,869, so my forecast is going to be a little bit high, 9,164. Okay, that's yesterday's forecast for South Korea. That will have gone down just a little bit. Oh heck, let's just put the equation and the line in. Since I've got it, I might as well do it. Okay, SK trend 130.31 and minus 0.185. See, minus 0.185 is quite a nice steep negative slope, and that's really what you're looking for. That's what you want. When an epidemic is about to come to an end, that's what you want. So I'm going to copy those two figures, if it's going to allow me to do it, and I'm going to paste those onto the main spreadsheet hopefully in the correct place, which is up here somewhere. Let's see what happens. So let's see what that was then. That was 0.179, and now it's 0.185, you see, which is steeper. So that's gonna bring the forecast down a little bit. Look, just taking it down just under 9,000 cases now for Korea. That's great. So Korea's just bang on, basically 9,000 plus or minus a couple of hundred. And if you look at their actual figures, Okay, not my forecast. If you look at that, the actual figures, you can see a lovely S-curve forming on here. So unless they have a new outbreak, it's going to creep up just very, very, very slowly to 9,000 or so. So at the moment we're at, you know, 8,000, aren't we, roughly? Just coming up to 8,000 cases, and it's probably just going to drift over to 9,000. Okay, and you can see the number of new cases more or less going down every day for South Korea, which compares kind of well with China. When you look at China's cases, okay, forget the rest of the world. This is the global, which is going up because of the rest of the world. But China, Hubei province, remainder of China, all on those S-curves now, very, very, very stable. Epidemic almost over. That's why the states are going to open their borders to South Korea again and to Chinese flights. Whereas for Europe, going exponential. Obviously, it's time to close your borders to Europe. Very, very sensible move. I mean, America has been slow enough with testing. There's no point in them letting a load of cases coming in from Europe or Iran or somewhere, to be quite honest. So, trend, rest of world. Trend for the rest of the world is actually the percentage changes going down a little tiny bit, which allows me to forecast possibly 600 and something thousand for the rest of the world, but that trend will have got worse. Again, let's add it. Might as well add it. Might as well face some music, eh? Let's see what that looks like. Oh, it's up a little bit. It's not hugely. Oh, yes, it is. Good God, that is up a lot. Minus 0.042. The trend for the rest of the world is extremely not steep. It's coming down very, very, very painfully slowly, which means the epidemic, the pandemic in the rest of the world is going to last a very, very long time probably. And it's going to be very, very painful. So I've just taken those figures and I'm going to put them into my spreadsheet for wherever the rest of the world figures are, which I think are in italics, and they're absolutely awful. And I've got to put rest of the world cases outside China. There we go. I've got to put it in here. Okay, the rest of the world cases now. My rest of the world forecast goes over 1 million. And look, it's still creeping up and creeping up and creeping up and creeping up and creeping up right to the end of the year.